consortium with funding from Irish Aid. This program airs on Truth FM every Tuesday at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Her voice provides the opportunity to discuss issues related to water, sanitation, and hygiene. Watch for sure. And we aim to share knowledge and information, influence good decision making, encourage collaboration, and generate ideas to enhance women's and girls' access to sustainable health services through clean water, proper sanitation, and good hygiene practices. And sexual reproductive health and rights. Today, we will continue our discussion on Water AIDS project in Todi District and their plans for sustainable, safe, and inclusive water, sanitation, and hygiene. Yes. So, last week, you listened to the feature, a post analysis of our visit to Todi. So, the authorities in Todi district, that's in rural Maserati, have uncovered some individuals purporting to be journalists, because journalists are people who investigate, who are very ethical, who are very professional, who balance, they use the ABC method, that's reporting accurate, balanced, and credible information. They actually reported lies and false information about residents, mainly women, yes, consuming water from the creek due to a poorly installed water pump, according to them. Yes, according to them. So this was actually intended to spoil the name of water, to spoil, someone said, malign the character, tarnish the reputation of the good work of that this NGO, international organization, is providing. uh, they are providing access to clean water, toilets, and hygiene in the district. But I mean, this group of people purporting to be journalists went there and reported fake stories, lies, and misinformation. So, however, quite recently, I mean, that was a week before last. Uh, yeah, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, the group headed by Augustine Myers, and people are asking us to call him. Yeah, we it's already in the papers. It's in the newspapers, and yes, we're not afraid to say it, because we have to start this. So these kind of things can stop. And this group headed by Mr. Augustine Myers, and under the banner "Watch Reporters and Editor Network" released an article and also a Facebook video or documentary of photos of children, citizens, consuming water from creek. Yeah, water from the creek, to consuming water from the creek, going to the creek to get water from there to cook, to to drink and do other stuff, and which of course was lied. So we went there, and last week we brought in all of the audios. So subsequently we might bring in those audios for our discussion today. But yes, we have with us today two guests, and I will introduce them after this jingle. Yes, after, yeah, let's take this one. This is a message from.
in a clean and safe place so rats, roaches, ants, or flies and other animals can sit down on it and rat so that roaches, ants, or flies and other animals can sit down on them and leave germs on the food to make us sick.
Thank you, Mama, for telling me this. From now on, we will take care of our food and dishes so that rats, roaches, ants, or flies and other animals cannot sit on it to give us sickness.
So I call on everybody to always cover their food properly, wash their dishes with soap and clean water, and put it on a dish rack so that animals can play in it. Then it will prevent sickness.
This is a Active for Health campaign message from the National Public Health Institute of Liberia, Ministry of Health, Watch the Nation, with support from Water Aid.
Our health, our life is in our hands to make it better. Let's work together.
Your family members abroad need to send you money.
All right. So today, Princess is not here today. Princess Zuza, who sits here with me, and she's attending a program representing me at the CC Dennis Auditorium at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So I have with me Kubo SANGAR. Kubo, how are you doing this morning?
I'm okay, Sis Madani, and thank you so much for the opportunity given once again.
Okay, so you're welcome. And yes, you always here giving one or two support. So you already know this program supports Watch.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So we have with us today in studio our guests are Mr. Tumete Kwe. He's the executive director of United Youth. And then we also have Mr. Mohammed Masale. He's urban program manager for Water Aid. So let's now go to Studio B, where we have our guests. Good morning. Good morning. It's good to have you on this morning. I think for the manager, it's your first time, right?
Definitely, Madeleine.
Okay, so you're welcome. For Tumete, he's always here, even online as well. So it's good to have you both here this morning.
Thank you. Thank you, Madeleine.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling because we have a lot of things to discuss. But I will begin with the urban program manager for Water Aid. That's Mr. Mohammed Masale. So tell us about Water Aid's program.
Okay, thank you, Madeleine, and good morning again. Good morning to your listening audience. Firstly, let's start by giving you a synopsis of Water Aid.
Okay.
Water Aid is an international NGO that focuses solely on wash services, funded since 1981, and we have country programs in about 26 countries, including Liberia. So since 2009, we have been operating in Liberia, where we have operated in the southeast in Maryland, River G, and Green Crew. And in the eastern region, we are operating in Grand Cape Mount and Bapolu, and as well as Monserralo here for both rural and urban programs. Um, so our program focus mainly on providing services and as well as advocacy work. Over the past 2 years, we work with stakeholders within Liberia to design a country program strategy, drawing from our global strategies. So globally, Water Aid has been looking at 4 key areas to achieve universal access to wash. So the first area there is to ensure that we have universal access to wash in the sub national area. And then we're also looking at the second area, integrating WASH into public health programs and policies. And the third area is around climate change, the entire climate resilient WASH services to improve that service chain. And lastly is around financing to increase the quantity and quality of financing. So if you talk about our intervention over the past time, into the in particular, we have worked in over 50 communities, over 20 schools, and about 4 healthcare facilities, improving water services. That includes access to water supply, sanitation, and hygiene. And same as urban Monrovia, where we have installed a lot of biodigester toilets. And I remember a couple of weeks ago, we have a conversation around the biodigester toilet where I phoned from the office to explain more about what we are doing. So our approach is not only to install facilities. That's something we need to be clear about.
Okay.
Our approach is to ensure that we have sustainable services that starts from the installation process to the management and the ownership by communities and local government and quote unquote national government. So into the in particular, we have what I refer to as a tripartite approach, where we have 3 different stakeholders uh, trying to improve wash services in the district. The local government is one of those actors. So all of the work we do from the beginning that has to do with community engagement, that has to do with siting of water points, approaches that we are going to use in a particular community. We work in line with not only the local government, but also the ministries that are decentralized. For example, the Ministry of Public Works. Water aid don't go and site well
Okay.
without public work involvement. Water aid don't carry on any hygiene activities without the involvement of Ministry of Health. So we work closely with these people to ensure that they take on the sustainability aspect at the end and even during the implementation to ensure that the work we are doing are in conformity with national guidelines that are set by government. For example, the Ministry of Public Works is always, or the WASH coordinator into the, let's say, Lower Monserralo County is always present when we are siting wells and also doing excavation. We do checks to make sure that we meet the required depth of a well and also the installation of pump. And the second group is the community. So while we are working with the local government on sustainability issue, the community are highly involved. So throughout the process, we ensure that the community is involved with the approaches we are using to achieve sustainable wash. That includes we set up committees at community level and we introduce what we call the cash box system. Basically, the cash box system is a system where we encourage the communities to collect user fees from community members for water points that are installed. We don't impose on them, but we encourage them, and then it has been working really good. A lot of communities that we are working today, if you reach there today, they will tell you that we have a cash box system in place. We are collecting user fees or monthly fee from our households. Some communities charge up to $50 some communities $25 and those monies are there so that in case there is any breakdown of the hand pump, they have available funds to go and repair. And we don't only stop there. Most often we hear about access to spare parts. This means that even if you have the funds, sometimes you don't have access to the spare part. You have to travel from the district to either the nearby city that is Kakatan or maybe Monrovia to get spare part. So what I say, no, we need to improve this situation. What we have done is we have established spare part depots
Okay.
in different parts of the district. As of present, we have up to 6 different spare parts depots within the district where communities are actively linked with those spare part depots. Go there as long as you notice there's a breakdown of your pump, you go there and have access to the spare part. And then we train the communities. We have the wash committee at the community level. And we also, not to depend only on the wash committee, we train district committees at the district level. So wherein there are critical issues that the community or pump mechanics cannot resolve, you have a district pump mechanics that are there to resolve those issues. So we put in those approaches, and at the end of the day, at the end of construction, we hand over these facilities, knowing that we have put in a sustainability mechanism that both the community and the district leadership can take over. And that's similar to what we do in other parts of Liberia. For example, in the urban space in Monrovia, where we have worked in part of Painesville and Monrovia, we installed a bowel digester toilets, and we use an approach called the 4P approach. That's a people, public, private partnership. In that approach, we ensure that we have a local business or CBE that is well vetted, has the capacity to manage those facilities, and then the community leadership and also government stakeholders that form part of the project working group that has been working with Water Aid over the time are actively monitoring that CBE that is managing the toilet facility, rendering the service to the people. So we're putting all those approaches to ensure that post our project implementation, there's a sense of sustainability and ownership from the community level.
Okay. Yes, so that brings me to this. Let's listen to this, and when we come back, I got further questions for you.
Will come back to come and face the pump. A walk will have it, they face the pump. One using the pump. One using the pump again, within using the pump, we go low again the pump spot for the second time. And when the pump spot for the second time, the man what they call sabu. He do he working water he do. Now he will put it before he said, I will open the pump. I will all went there to open the pump. So now the second time now, Sabu King, we all went to the pump. After they installed the pump, they left the balance for me. I've been happy now. Keeping it. So that how they went, they took all the pipe from the pump. They took all the pipe. The iron that was in the pump, it got broke. When the iron got broke, they took all the iron to say, Tangi, secretary, there is a thing that score on the pump. Then I asked them, I said, but then, how much for it? They said $15 for it. So I said, people a bridge here. You see, but then you're not go to the Quebec. Now we went to the Quebec, we pay the $15 from there, and we buy the thing and score on the phone. We get them the money, they went the ball, no brain one. Those are get all the phone now. That's how when he bought it, the two that saw on the phone, the thing that saw on the phone, when he bought it, and he presented to me. I said, yeah. The money was that get it, man. Yeah, the two that the man are free. They didn't call on the phone, yeah. That's the man bought it. And they went, they show it on the pump. They took the money from the Kobe. The town people, every month can collect $50 per house. The people do all that. They pump. Children shouldn't draw the water from the pump. Because when they try drawing the water, they can be knocking the pump hand up. So they can pour the pump. So you can't allow child to draw the water, to pump the, can't allow children to go to the pump, to go and pump the water. And the people do all that, even said, when somebody watch it, you got to watch his stomach. Anything when you not work or you not
You listen to that. Yeah, so she's Chief Patu Willie of Willie Town, a member of the district's elder council. And I was like, wow, so we she's a smart leader, and you can hear from her voice that well, if she's empowered, she can, I mean, too many things can go on, development can go on, and it can be sustained. So this is the question, Masali. At what which point in time the community or water aid takes responsibility of a pump when it breaks down?
Madeline, you listen to the Chief
Yeah,
Fatugori.
yeah,
She just sum up the entire approach, just what I explained to you,
yes.
wherein they are putting money together or they have the cash box, and when they pump spoil, they have to, at least the first time she mentioned Tano. So Tano is a district inspector within Todi district.
Okay.
He's the one that is responsible for monitoring wash services to ensure that they are functional. So now what we have done all the year is to train the community, like I said earlier. We know that the hand pump is a machine, a simple machine.
Mm-hmm.
And in as much as you are using it, sometimes I set example on a vehicle. If you buy a vehicle today and you run a certain mile, you know that you have to change your oil, you have to change the tire. There are parts that will wear out, you need to change them. So now, if the community is using the pump, uh, and then there's an issue with the pump, those processes that we put in place are put in place so that the community can take ownership. And that's a clear example she just explained, wherein they went into, they called the district inspector first, and the district inspector get in contact with someone who she referred to as Sabu. Sabu is actually one of our partner staff or technician in the field that are doing a different set of work. But sometimes when the community, let's say when there are issues beyond their control,
Mm-hmm.
they also refer to those partners that have been working there to see how best they can extend their technical expertise to them. So then they went in to their cash box, get money from there, $15,
Mm-hmm.
and then buy the spare part and replace it. So those pumps are there. The way you use them, that's how it performs. And in most cases, what we realize is that those communities, and you hear her talking about bylaws, you don't
Mm-hmm.
enter the pond with slipper,
I
your
see.
hair open. So
Yeah.
these are bylaws. These are all
Mm-hmm.
the processes we put in place. How
Okay.
to handle the pump, make sure those that are going there to draw water from the pump are people of age who knows exactly how to pump the water to avoid the issue of the pump breaking down soon. So with all of these approaches we put in place, as soon as we completed the process, we observe it for let's say for a few days to ensure that the partners have done the right work,
Mm-hmm.
inspected by the Ministry of Public Work WASH coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
We hand the facility over to government, to the community.
Okay.
What we do as Water Aid now is because we are so concerned about the work we do. At times we go ahead to monitor those facilities even after handover.
Okay.
2 years ago, we conducted our post-implementation monitoring survey to ensure or to check on facilities we have done years as far back as 2010.
Okay.
So these are processes we put in place to ensure sustainability.
Uh-huh. Have you commissioned the pump at the near town public school one?
All of the pumps that we have done, the work we have done in the last 2 years have been commissioned.
No, they've just installed stuff because you're it's almost at the completion stage.
Near,
Yeah,
Will it?
into the
I
will
think
it
will it?
Willie?
Yeah.
Yes, Willie Town. The newly constructed pump
yeah, the newly constructed pump in Wellington on
is
Kekula Willie
commissioned
is
now
commissioned
for.
already. People are
Okay.
using that pump.
Yeah. What's about the toilet
No, the
facility?
toilet facility is still under construction. So,
Yeah.
I mean, couple of
That's a state of the art.
yeah, a couple of weeks ago. So, I mean, exactly these are things that we are doing into the district and other parts of Liberia. If you look at our design, we try to improve our design so that we incorporate people of different disabilities and different needs.
Okay.
So, if you look at that facility, according to the Ministry of Education, the first design that was developed by the
Mm-hmm.
Ministry of Education,
Mm-hmm.
the issue around menstrual hygiene was not fully addressed at institution latrines like the one you saw.
Yeah.
So what if we went back on the drawing board with the Ministry of Education and we discussed the importance of menstrual hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want girls leaving school during
Instructional
instructional
time.
time
Yeah.
to go out or to go home because they are experiencing their menstruation. So we work with them to redesign the facility and incorporated a space there for menstrual hygiene management. I think you saw it when you went to the field. And in
Okay.
addition to that, we have running water into those systems.
Okay. All right. So let's listen to this one again before we can go down to the executive director of United Youth. So, Mr. Manager, you hear the commissioner.
Madeline, all what I said during the introduction are things that the commissioner said again. We don't go into the community to work in isolation of the district leadership or the community leadership.
Okay.
They direct us to where the need is, and we move in with the Ministry of Public Works and other stakeholders to a comprehensive assessment before carrying any development in any community. So I think he's right about what he said.
And also dissatisfied about the fake information lies intended to disrupt activities over there at the detriment of the citizens, the residents of Todi. Okay, so Tobede, you form part of a recent independent team to fact check the report that we're drinking from the creek. And last week I interviewed you here on the phone, and then you said you were still putting your findings together. So how is it now? Are you ready now? Have you gathered all of your information to share with us?
Well, yes, thanks again for the invitation. And as United Youth, we are working with Water A for over the years to promote water sanitation and hygiene in this country, considering the fact that there are many challenges across the country in terms of lack of access to water, sanitation, and hygiene. And so we are in the business of working with international partners, encouraging donors, including even individuals from across the world, to prioritize Liberia and Liberians for water services to our people. And so, considering that our government don't have the necessary resources, because when we look at the current statistics of financing to the sector, you have about 98% of financing to the sector come from the international partners. And you check the national budget, you can't find anything significant about funding to the sector. That's why we are currently engaged in the national legislature to ensure that they have some funding allocated for WASH. So when we got that fake news that one of the partners, in fact, most especially Water A, implemented poorly, we got interested into the story, and there were videos, pictures that were sent out there that the people, those communities that Water A intervened, they are now going back to the creek and blah, blah, blah. So that drew our attention as an organization that into advocacy. We went in the districts in Tori, and then from our own investigation, we noticed that that group, the Wash Media Network, was reporting false information to the public, and that require urgent action from government, most especially the local authorities there. And interestingly, through our interaction with the local authority, it was actually proving that they were not even in the know of that stories that they were reporting. And to just give you a background of the Watch media that did that recording or that report, that group has been working with the very Water A since 2010. And over the years, Water A has been providing capacity. It is only Water A over the years that built the advocacy platform for civil society and the media in this country. I remember when Water A entered Liberia in 2009. In 2010, there was a whole week training conducted. You couldn't hear much about water and sanitation. It was just called Wasan on our public works and things, but it was not a priority for government at the time. But then they built that capacity over the years, and civil society was trained, media group, and that how that group was established to focus on reporting issues that affect the people. And then for many years now, through the capacity building support provided by Water A, most of the organizations, including the media institutions that take that way, were not doing well because the partners will not remain in country. So there's a model that they build capacity of local institutions so that when the international partners are not around, the local partners will take over and maintain those services and continue the work. But there are a lot of investment that have been made, and including that network, they couldn't do much. They couldn't improve on their work. So recently, when Water Aid launched their new strategies, there were partnership assessments that were done. According to the partnership assessment report, they couldn't cross the benchmark to continue the partnership. So there was some recommendation of partner or capacity, additional capacity, and so forth. So that report came from the background that Water A has not been able to give you some funding. And so you now want to go and started discouraging or fighting back, and which you cannot do. The work of Water A in the country, I mean, it's just all over. Communities that Water A and her partners intervene. You go to those communities, the marks are there. For example, they are still not set. When I saw the report, the first thing that ran to my mind, if you say a partner fully implemented, then there should be a guideline set. Your investigation should base on facts. I mean, what the depth of the well supposed to be 30 feet, for example, and the partner door at 10 feet. Then you have issues. But to just made a report that partner fully implemented, so that drew our attention. So as civil society organization, we went into the communities and we decided to do our own investigation. And we found out that some of those areas that they did some video recording, it was not even communities that Water A ever intervened. Tony is a very big, because it's a rural district. So, and the land space that is very big. My first time going into Toli for a monitoring visit on because Water A and partner, they do that quarterly monitoring visit.
Okay.
When we spent there 3-4 days in Todi, going to different parts of Todi, and you will not pass the same way you pass the next day. The place is very big. So there are areas where they're reporting that the people drinking running water has not even intervened in some of the communities. In the first place, Water A they are not doing direct implementation according to the NGO guidelines. You must work through local partners, and those local partners, their capacity should be a certain level before you form partnership with them. So we were looking for what are the breach into the guidelines set by the government. So if it's fully implemented, but we saw system put in place where people from the local authorities, from the communities were involved into activities that were implemented by Water A and partners. And there are sustainability systems that we saw. I think you heard the lady explaining that just one. The last time we visited some part of Toli, the people had their road book where the payment that is done, those payments are recorded according to the dates, and I mean, it's just wonderful to see that, and it's not just too easy to see that happening with other institutions that also working in the center. Those systems are put in place to sustain the services because there are a lot of people that are calling for water and sanitation. Then anywhere you went now in this country, when you talk about water, the first thing that people will tell you, when are you coming here with water? So water is not going to be focusing in one area for the rest of the years. That's why those systems have been put in place. So if there are issues with those systems, with the water points, the community should be able to mobilize, and which we are very much impressed with what happening in Todi and other parts of Liberia that Water A has intervened with her partners. We are very much impressed. We need to take ownership as Liberians. Nobody will do our development. We should take leadership. We should take ownership. And that's why we are experiencing in Todi. So we have done our investigation, and it is clear that information was false and misleading. It was based on, because Water A has said, look, with all of the support we have put into the WASH media network, we are not getting the result. And that is why we need to hold on to. There is the issue we call value for money. No one will consider to put their money behind you and you cannot deliver.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, with all the years that Water A has supported this Watch Media Network, and I don't know how many times you read in the news about the success stories from the communities, about the work that Water A and the partner doing in the country. But just 2-3 months ago, and say, look, we have to hold on with the partnership support to investigate more, to build capacity more. And you just come out now, the energy you never have to go and report the success story. You are now putting false news together and sending it all over. Can you imagine? So we have come up with our findings, and the first thing we're calling on the local authority as a civil society organization. We are not going to sit here and fake news go in the air and steer away our partners.
Yeah. So that was actually. So who are you going? Your partners? Have you shared this findings, your report?
This week there will be a major press conference by United Youth.
Okay.
The findings will be shared out there, and hard copy will be distributed among the media. And also we are institutions that work according to system. When we come up with issues, we want to see the end result. So our recommendations, the first thing we're asking for the local authorities, we interview them, they express their frustration, but that should be documented to prevent any other group just going in the communities and saying, we are this and this happening. So we need that communication to the Watch Commission from the local community, informing the Watch Commission to intervene and poke and help to such kind of behavior. That group, the Watch Media a certificate need to be reviewed and see how best the right thing can be done. We also call it on the Watch Commission that there should be a guideline set that any institution want to do investigation in the sector, you must know what you're going to do. Because you're going to put false information out there and you have people, taking misinformation in the public. There must be, you should have the requisite capacity to do an investigation as a journal or as a civil society organization.
They do have, but you just stated the point that because they terminated the contract, it's a fiber, but they do have, people know exactly what they are doing. That particular group, they know, even they are unprofessional, unethical, and they decide to just do what they did. But if they want to do it right, they can do it. But they are doing it, their intent is to prevent the people of Todi from getting access to water.
That's why we are calling on the Watch Commission to put in place guidelines that you don't just go out there. If you are to go out to do whatever investigation you want to do, there should be a guidelines. What are you looking for? For example, water sustainability. I mean, it baffles me that a Gus Meyer who has been in this setup for years will not know promoting that sustainability that's supposed to be in place at the community level, that you will come up with false information.
So you see?
So what become of all the investment that have been made by the very Water into your organization? What become of investment? There have been capacity building support provided that media that are doing work in the sector should understand the requirements, the guidelines set to improve water and sanitation. According to the guidelines, from 250 above, or going up to 500 should benefit from hand pump water. And that is a responsibility for partners and the rural department of public works. For the water and sewer, they are responsible for urban communities, the 5,000 above and so forth. So if you don't know the common things, that before hand pumps are dedicated to the community, there should be a training, a community president, a community structure in place. Into the documentary, and from our assessment, there were nobody in authority that were talked to, that were interviewed to tell them about the situation of the water point that they said they visited. There are committees that were set up. They never talked to anybody from the committee. They just went and in some of the community and just people who just went, like for example, at the school. They talked to the lady who don't even live in the area. She just went to school.
Yeah.
So the lady referred them, talk to my mother who know more about it. They said, no, we don't want to talk to you. That you the one we want to talk to.
That you want to talk to. So let's listen to this.
How will you be so wicked and yourself? So we are going to release a report this week, and
Okay.
and there are a lot of requirements. We are calling on them to apologize publicly to Water Aid for sending out false information.
Okay.
If that apology is not done in the time set period, we are going to call on the network
Okay.
to dismiss their leadership, their membership to the network. You can be a network member that should be on top of information, that you know what to say in the sector, that people look up to you, to carry out investment into the sector, and you come up with false information in the media. It's wrong. It's wrong. You got no space in the kind of modern day where you have technology all over. You just come and you pick photo. Some of the photos we saw that all people in Tony don't have access. They are photos from the internet. Why should you do that? Why should
All
you do
right.
that?
Okay, so if you are tuning in, this is Her Voice radio program brought to you by Water Aid Liberia. We have with us in studio Tumete Kwe. He is the executive director of United Youth. And then Mohammed Masale is a urban program manager for Water Aid Liberia. So, Tony, Water Aid has a plan. I don't know whether you know about this. Around 2028, 700,000 or more people will be provided access to sustainable, safe, and inclusive water, sanitation, and hygiene. In addition to mobilizing 13 million annually to the Liberia wash sector. And this one is coming from the program, the country director of Water Aid Liberia, Chuchu Selma, Mr. Chuchu Selma. So you hear that? That's it for 20 districts. So do not allow people go there and reporting and giving them access to just talking to anyone. When you see them, chase them away. Chase them away.
And one of the things that really caught our attention in our
Yeah.
investigation, they went and they told the people we come from Water Aid. Can you imagine how their Water Aid staff, they come from Water Aid, and the people should say things that will encourage them. They Water Aid now to bring more water facilities to them. I mean, you can't just imagine how.
Yeah, that was so desperate for them.
Let me add a bit.
Yeah, please do.
On that. So, earlier I explained our country program strategy.
Yeah.
And when you mentioned the 700,000, so we selected 3 of the 4 global aims I talked about.
Okay.
And the first aim there is to provide universal access to wash into the district. And what we intend to do into the district is ensure that everyone into the district have access to basic services of water, sanitation, let's say practicing improved hygiene behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
So this program is like a model. So all the past time we notice the issue around sustainability, although we have tried a lot to address, but it's still an issue. We want to demonstrate that yes, it is possible that a country can go 100% or can get 100% wash coverage if several approaches or methods are used. So we are designing a model to use into the district where we work exclusively with the local government to ensure that they have the right capacity, they are mobilizing the right resources to invest into wash, and the services that are being provided by Water Aid and other partners are maintained and sustained within the district. That model will be used over the time, tested, and then will influence government to scale up that model in other parts of Liberia. Okay. That's our vision for Todi. And within that strategy, if you see 700,000, we want to start with Todi district.
Okay.
And throughout the strategic period, we want to reach 700,000 people in Liberia with access.
In Liberia. Okay. Thank you for.
You know the population in Todi is not 700,000.
Okay, yes. Thank you for the correction.
So we want to start the process in Todi. And while in Todi will be scaling up the approach we are using to ensure that government is taking active ownership. They are mobilizing resources for wash, and they are there to ensure that communities are taking ownership of the facilities being provided.
Okay.
So that will be done into and then we'll influence government and other partners to see how that approach can be scaled up.
What are those? Yeah. So what are those targeted areas in your plan because Todi is in Monserrato.
Todi is in Monserrato. So we are working in Todi in rural Monserrato.
Mm-hmm.
And we have our M2, that's a health program. The health program is basically we are integrating WASH into health.
Okay.
So what we are doing there is not only within programs like providing WASH services in healthcare facility, but we also want to see WASH reflected into policies, health policies
Okay.
that are adequately addressing human needs. So within that program, we'll be working in, we are currently implementing programs in Grand Cape Mount, the SRHR program.
Okay.
We are implementing a program in Monserrato, and we are partnering with Windrock on the USAID project in both rural Monserrato and Margibi County.
Okay.
And then our last aim, just to end on this, the last aim you mentioned, mobilizing 13 million annually.
Yeah.
And that's our plan. That's our ambition for
Annually.
Liberia. We want to work with stakeholders, both government. We know that Timothy mentioned the percentage of funding coming from government to the WASH sector. Very low, less than 5%. How can government increase the funding they are providing in the WASH sector and ensure that the money they are providing is accounted for, not only government, but any NGOs, the money that are being provided in the sector is accounted for, the accountability mechanism. What are those mechanisms that are in place so that people will account for the funding given to them by donor? So we want to ensure that 30 million is mobilized annually, both and from donor partners, from private sector, and even the climate financing.
Okay.
So we'll be working with the government of Liberia all in the next 5 years and the donor community to see how best we can mobilize funding for the WASH sector. This necessarily don't have to be funding coming from water water own pocket.
Okay.
But it can be funding coming from both government, other donor partners. But we want to ensure that this money is invested into the WASH sector so that the people of Liberia will have increased and improved services to WASH.
Okay, thank you so much. And so, yes, by 2028, 700,000 stand to benefit from water aid, access to sustainable, safe, inclusive water, sanitation, and hygiene. So get ready for water aid wheresoever you are. As soon as you say water aid, the last time I went to the office, I said I need water to drink. I said, oh, water aid. I said, okay, I mean water aid office. All right, so you have an audio that Gus Myers is praising water aid. You care to play it? Whether you have it in your chat. Masale, you have it where he was praising water. You know, we're still in the Easter season. I mean, Christians are celebrating, talk about the betrayal of Jesus. He was praising, and now he's saying, speaking he's speaking lies and spreading false information. I just thought to see whether you have it. You got it?
That's a frustrating part of the recording that or the report that came up. And I just told you
I said he was praising, like saying thank you to water aid, you are this, you are that, but now
I mean we've got
I don't know whether you have that audio. I just trying to pick your brain and see whether you still have it.
I mean, we WashNet, let's say the Wash R&E recordings have been online, and there are several audios around for
where he was praising water aid. Okay, so I would like to get it for you. Maybe subsequently we'll play it right here and then continue the discussion.
We'll definitely share that with you. And what I want to say is that the entire issue now surrounding this recording from Wash R&E, Water Aid is here to make an official statement on that, and the country director, Mr. Chuchu Selma, is glued with that responsibility to respond officially. So I will reserve all of my comments here.
Okay.
And then, he will be.
All right. Thank you. So we hope to host the country director some days, and I know you all will be right here, and so we can hear from him. What are some of those plans that you don't want to talk about that is still in the pipeline? Maybe we're about to take calls. You want to say something?
Yeah, quickly. I think that's a Meg lags that at the higher level of water it can now easily respond to such. That's something that we civil society will just handle, because I mean that nothing to the work. The work speaks for itself. You go all over where water has intervened. The work is all over there. Even at national level, when it comes to advocacy, I mean, there's no way that the very gods that sending out that false information. There are a lot of recording, a lot of newspaper publication praising the very water aid. been the only partners that are building the capacity of civil society that are doing well in this country. So we will handle our goals with lies and things. We handle it. No need to boil water on those kind of things. The people are serious about providing over 700 people. I mean, 700,000 people with water. That's what we're talking about. We want to see that the rest of the people in Todi receive safe drinking water. We want to see that even Greater Monrovia and other parts of Liberia are benefiting from what water it can bring and other parts. Let's take few calls from one media, who don't even know how to do your own story well.
077753819. We got 6 more minutes to go. 077753819. You can place in your call and tell us whether you drink it safe in your community or. Hello.
Good morning, Madeline. This is SAAH Davis, and I'm calling from Nambatuka.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Madeline, thank you for your studio guest. I think he spoke very well. Water is life. But he's more concerned about tourism industry. And then I think you understand the food and some other countries more especially.
Oh, Grandpa, sir?
Yeah, for them too.
Okay. All right, we'll take it, yeah? Okay. Yeah. Hello? Hello? Yes, sir. 1 miles. Yes, sir. Hello? Okay, let me take another call. I think his network dropped connection. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, sir.
Okay, this is Charles Jonek.
Yes,
please. Let me say thank you very much. I've been following the activity of Water Aid, even support from Water Aid to United Youth for Peace and Development. Thank you very much for your hard work.
Okay.
Don't be carried by the misinformation and disinformation by that media watch group. We know we've been following, I've been to I know what you have been doing there. Thank you.
Okay. All right. At least we'll take at least 2 more calls. Yes, we usually like to leave. Sometimes the discussion is so sweet and you feel like we have to add another 30 minutes to listen to the callers. 077753819. 077753819. We have 4 more minutes to go. And yes, so I think we'll take this last caller. Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm Mr. Ford, and I call from the New Children Community in Fender.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to seek an appeal from the Water Aid Group and release my commitments.
Hello? Hello? Change your location a little bit. Chief, it's too terrible. It's too terrible. So we'll go back to our guest. I'm sorry, Cooper, you couldn't ask a question. No, just ask it one time and then we'll conclude 1 minute each.
Yeah, so my question relatively was to the issue that
just wrap it up. Got 3 more minutes.
Yes, quickly. Many times in the interior, we notice that the taste of the water change as time goes by. What are measures put in place by Water Aid Liberia to keep the water safe and clean for the consumption of those in the area?
Okay, so we have 1 minute each to wrap up.
So let me do first before the BMEG close. For United Youth, as I said, we are grateful to the True FM family for always raising the voice, most especially for women. We have come up with this our investigation, and by this week we'll be releasing the investigation. We want to encourage our people in Todi that as civil society, we will handle that issue. We will take that false information from the media. We encourage Water Aid to remain and keep doing what they are doing. And I don't think that's something that they need to pay attention to. That's something that we civil society will handle. Thank you so much. For people calling from Grand Bassel, yes, there are a lot of opportunity out there. Just through the media, let us know. We send out. We are responsible to the advocacy. We bring a platform for the people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank
you, Madeline, and thank you for having us here. So basically, from what's his name in studio?
Cooper
Cooper
Sangar.
Studio. Yeah, Cooper, thanks for that question. And I think what we have done all the time is to work closely with the Ministry of Health to ensure that water quality testing is done during construction and after construction. And as long as that is done, we assure you that the water is safe for consumption because it is certified by the Ministry of Health, sometimes through their county health team. But again, thank you for having us here. And let's take this water and sanitation business serious. And the SDG says stuff about water and sanitation for all. But interestingly, MAGDALENE, why SDG 6 is focused on water and sanitation, you notice that all of the other 17 SDGs cannot be achieved if water and sanitation issues are not addressed. So, for example, let's just look at the first two, poverty. The time, especially women and girls, spend to go collecting water 1-2 hours, that time can be used for other productive things. So these are things that we need to look at.
Education.
Just leaving school to go out because of lack of facilities hinder quality education for them. For hunger, zero hunger, that's SGD2. How will we ensure that we have, let's say, food security, our crops are growing, we don't have water to ensure that. So these are things that we need to look into, and the government of Liberia and other partners, we need to take water and sanitation business serious and invest adequately into water and sanitation. Thank you.
Well, this is how we come to the end of a Voice Radio program brought to you by Water Aid Liberia. It was a wonderful interaction with the urban program manager at Water Aid Liberia, Mohammed Masale, and Tumete Kwe of United Youth. He's the executive director. On that note, this is how we come to the end. Cooper Sangar, thanks for the support.
Thank you.
My name is Magdalene Finasa. See you on next week. Thanks for joining. So, you want to go for crap? Yeah? You want to go for crap?